Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the wonderful and amazing Coach Willett. I am so happy to have you back today, Coach Willett. Last week, we talked about the ego, we talked about tough love, perfectionism, and today I know you wanted to follow up on some of those subjects. So here we are. What do you have going on this week, Coach Willett? What's up with you?
As always, I love spending time with you. So thank you for asking me to hang out on your show. It's really cool. Um, Sorry, what was the question?
What do you
What
have going on this week?
this week?
Well, this
Uh,
weekend.
this playoff football in
That's
the
why I
house, and
asked.
wow. There's so many lessons and storylines and things that people can grow from, and athletes and player myself. Just a wealth of enjoyment, entertainment, and knowledge, and opportunities to improve.
Always opportunities to improve.
Oh, and don't
One
forget
of
fun.
and
It's
fun
fun.
and fun. One of the quotes I like is by Maya Angelou. When you know better, you do better. A lot of people hold shame in their lives because they made mistakes or they feel like they did bad things, even when they didn't know that those things weren't good. They did things because of the environment they were in. And so I think sports is a great metaphor for life because if you're a quarterback and you don't know who you're supposed to throw it to, and then the coach pulls you aside and says, "Hey, that ball was supposed to go to that guy, not that guy." And so then the quarterback learned and now he knows better, so he'll do better. So I love that sports is a metaphor for all of life.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely. Well, and like we touched on last time, and I know the tough love thing. There's so much more involved in that, and it takes both sides of that equation. Um, it's not really. I don't like the term tough love. It's not tough. It's honesty. It's to assist you. It's to help you. It's to make you better. It's to help you build, develop, and create more value for yourself in the world. Just like you said, once the quarterback knows, then there you go. Now, I think these days we're really sensitive and offended by if someone says, "Hey, you didn't do that correctly. Hey, you
mhm.
didn't do that right. Hey, I need you to do better." Uh, and now there is a fine line. I know when I was playing um, in sports, the coaches were in those days very, the term old school. What is that? That to
It's
me that
it's a,
means.
it's borderline abusive. That's what that
Well, yeah,
was.
I mean, I think they didn't know better. They didn't know that you shouldn't punch a player or kick a player or spit on a player or throw a can of Dr. Pepper across the gym at a player, which all of those I've witnessed. And some of those I was the recipient of. So, what did that teach? So I'll take that as like, what did that teach me? Nothing. Did that make me want to play harder for this? No. I don't need to play hard for my coach. I need to play
Mhm.
hard for me and the brothers next to me and in front of me and behind me and with me, the guys on my team. I need to play hard for them. Uh, the coach, the old school, I just don't like that. You didn't know any better. And nowadays, coaches should. You really should. If you don't, then that's a problem you should maybe address. Um, I've found it to be honest with a player or a kid, a child, son, anyone is an opportunity to improve. So it gets into which is, and I'm going to tie all this together now. Um, when you're honest with someone, it builds that value, and you
Mhm.
have to build that value. Um, we can't be so sensitive that we can't accept that. So here comes your part in it. Okay. So when I explain to you, this is what will make you better. This is what will, and I do it in the proper way, the way that you need. which is up to me as a coach. See, now that's the hardest part of a coach thing that we'll get in, I'll expand on in a minute. But I need to learn what each of my players, students teach. What is their thing? What is something they're interested in? I do that by getting to know them.
Their currency. And
Yes.
what's
So
their
now I
currency?
get to know them, and then now I can angle from that to help them create that value for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They, in turn, need to accept that and say, oh, okay, cool. Now, sometimes there may be, I mean, I never minded a disagreement or hey, I don't understand this, or hey, because I've had players that, fans would tell me later, but that young man has an attitude problem. No, he doesn't. You're sitting up there and you don't understand the conversation we're having. We're having a conversation about what can make us both successful here. And sometimes it may look a little heated or it may look a little aggressive. Maybe it is. But that's because we want to be successful. It's not, I mean, do we argue with the guy trying to climb up out of the wheelchair and walk and be like, I didn't like your facial expression in that regard. You should change it.
He's got
No.
an attitude.
Yeah, we're rooting for this guy. And maybe it hurts a little bit. Maybe he's a little uncomfortable. So are we, so you get into that moment. That's why you see it on TV. You'll see a coach and a player kind of have, and the announcers are quick. Boy, it's a heated exchange. Oh my God,
Right.
somebody's mad. Somebody's upset. You don't know. You don't know what's going on there. So back off. They'll work it out. Or they
Right.
won't. One of the two. And it's probably not as bad as you think. But we're all quick to the drama. We should not be quick to the drama and issues when it comes to, I'm trying to assist you. Nick Saban was phenomenal at that. And if you watch some of his explosions on the sideline, it's pretty volcanic. But talk to the players and they'll chuckle and be like, yeah, he was pretty mad at me. He was pretty
Right.
upset at me.
Right.
But he knows, they know he's coming from a place of love, and I want you to create value for yourself. And if you do these things, you can get drafted into the NFL and you can get with a team and you can make a nice paycheck. And then if you continue down that process of development with these sets of standards we're teaching you here, then you can sign a very large contract on your second role. So that's creating that value. He's helping that young man better his life or create value in his life to better his life, his family's life, and everything. Now, not every player needs that. So I've had players, some you just gotta, I think I mentioned a guy last time, he just needed to be yelled at all the time. And for the life of me, I don't know why. But to the point, which I've said, I think before, if I would say to him, hey, why do I need to yell at you every day? And he's, I don't know, but it works. Keep doing it. I'm like, I don't really want to do that. But
Right.
if that's what it takes, then I'll do it. I'm in. I've had other guys that, you got to walk up to them. You got to put your arm around them and you got to be real gentle with them. You got to say, hey, buddy, sweetheart, can you please do this for me? And then they get it. They'll respond. And then some you just kind of look at and you're like, hey, remember and you just look and you see, you don't even have to say it. They look at you and they already know. It's already processing. They're kicking themselves a little bit. It was like, hey, don't do that. Okay, we're angry. Okay, move on. And then that's all you need to do with them.
Yeah, and this is a metaphor, all of this for everyone watching who's not into sports, because not everybody gets the sports metaphors.
Right. Yeah.
But it's equal to any interaction you have with anyone in your life, your family members, your extended family, your friends, your partner. Like every single person is different and on different days. And you mentioned Nick Saban. He built trust with his players. That's why he could get rough with them on the sidelines, because they knew, because he had shown historically, they knew he had their best interest at heart.
Oh yeah.
He was
Well, and it's
doing
not.
that
It's
to
like.
help elevate them, and that's the whole point of these discussions you and I are having each week.
Mhm.
We want people to be able to build trust in their relationships so we can help them elevate their own life, right?
Yeah,
We want people
absolutely.
to do better. We want people to get better and to learn it's okay if I screwed up before. I can learn new things and do things better next. And so
Yeah.
I love all of these analogies and stories because they're so relevant.
Oh, you'll love it. Nick Saban was, and I don't. First of all, I don't like the word like. I don't want that to come across as you take a kid over here and you're calling him an sob and a mother effer and all this stuff. That's not. No, that's wrong. What you might use language, you might say something, but never directed to belittle or disrespect a player or a colleague or a human being. That's not acceptable. Okay.
Mhm.
We all have moments where we, kick the counter, the corner of the bed, that metal frame. You might invent a few words in that regard because it hurts. It's not a fun, and it may come. Okay, you're not perfection. We'll get into that in a little bit, but Nick Saban, some great moments. He gets fired up. Several years ago, one of his seven national championships, he had a freshman quarterback come in and start the second half. That freshman quarterback late in the game, in a crucial play, he in a play where he really couldn't take a sack. Well, he got sacked. And
Mm.
then the next play, he hit future Heisman Trophy winner Devontae Smith, sorry, on the left side of the field to score a touchdown and win the national championship. And
Did he know better than do
it's
better?
it's funny when Tua, the quarterback, after the game, Saban went up to Tua and you're national champs, right? It's time to relax and say, no, it's not. Saban walks up to me, he's like, why did you take that sack there? And Tua said, and I quote, I thought this would have been a good time to joke with coach. So I said, well, I needed more room so I could throw the touchdown pass to win it, which he's joking. And Saban looked, he said, and this is his story. He said, Coach looked me dead in the eye and said, that's not funny. He's still teaching. He's
Mhm.
not, now he's a playful guy. Don't get me wrong. He will play and mess around. But when it comes to you and your future, he's
Right,
not playing around with that. That is a
right.
serious matter. Now,
Because
Tua
people
went
see
on.
that. People
Yeah, he's
see
in the
that.
NFL. He's signed a big see what these things flow, and so these things get highly, highly important. Um, there's so many stories about it. Just watching coaches get upset with Ken. I don't like how the media portrays how he's just blowing off steam over there and blah 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 and yelling at that kid. He's not happy. He's like, well, maybe not, but it's probably because he wants the kid to do well. I mean, I've never seen a coach just, you know what, I'm going to tell this kid something wrong so he ends up screwing up and we lose the game. I've never seen a coach walk in a locker room and said, all right, guys, I've worked all week on this game plan for us to really mess it up and lose today. That's not a coach's goal. And I don't think hopefully that's not anyone's goal in life. I mean, do we
Right,
really wake up
right.
one day and be like, you know what? I can't wait till I go OD on something, or I can't wait till the cops finally chase me down after robbing the convenience store. I don't think that's the plan. At least I hope not.
You know,
If it is, we need to revisit some things in our life.
I love that you mentioned that very subject. People don't wake up one day and just plan for a disaster in their life. I often see when I see, we've lived in some big cities, we've lived in some areas where where there was homelessness. We've seen addicts on the street. We've seen a variety of different things happening around us in life, as everyone does. And when I look at people who are struggling in that way, I like to imagine them as a newborn baby every time. And I think, how did that perfect baby go through that life and end up with that struggle? Yes.
Pick me. Society teaches us all the wrong things, or a lot of the wrong things, not all things, but a lot of the wrong things. And that's what we listen to. We buy into stuff. You know, if you go into social media and you're um, a young girl and you see like you're supposed to look this way. Same for boys. You're
Mhm.
supposed to look this way. And if you don't, then you're flawed. You have
Right.
problems. You don't, we're not basically accepting you for who you are. But then we flip it and turn around and be like, hey, be who you are. Now, what is that? Now, this young, fragile mind is confused
Yeah.
and they're looking for something. They're looking for an avenue, an exit of something that will show them that value. And so, because everybody wants to be a part of something, we all
Right.
want to be accepted. We all want to be a part of a team. We're always looking for that. Who are we alike? And
Mhm.
for me, we're all alike.
Mhm.
Everybody on this planet is alike.
Mhm.
Yeah, we have different cultures. Yeah, we have different colors. Yeah, we have different religions and different whatever, but we're all humans. And that's a beautiful thing. I had a great thing when I was working in California. Because they, the talk of racial issues was on the topic of the time. In that moment, there was a something happened, maybe the George Floyd thing, and um, I heard a guy um, in our religious part of section of school was because I'd always heard, I don't see color. I don't see color. And this guy responded, I see color. I see it clearly. And I want to celebrate it. And I want to learn more about it. And I
Mhm.
want to, I want to bring it to the forefront and I want to cherish it with
Mhm.
my brothers and sisters. And I'm like,
Yeah, that's
can I do
beautiful.
that too? I want to
Yeah.
be there. I want to be a part of that. That's really awesome. And I've had the just been blessed to be on both ends of the country, and I've worked with so many different cultures, and you've learned so much just by being around them, asking them questions, talking to them, again, doing exactly what he just said, and it's amazing. Oh, the things you learn and
Mhm.
the people you get to know, and it's just an incredible thing. Why would you not want to do that? Why would you not
Fear.
want to improve yourself by learning what another culture does, or and maybe it doesn't help, but it's good to know. It's great to know so many, and then you go into good areas and bad areas. I used to pick a kid up in California in the hood, and I'd have to go in there before the sun came up, and I'm telling you, but it was and I say hood, it was not a good neighborhood. um, and this is a great example. I would pick him up, take him to school, and then I would bring him home. And one day he told me, he said, Coach, do me a favor. He said, when we drive through here, if you got a hoodie on, make sure you don't have the hood up. And I'm like, all right, I'll bite. Why? And he said, well, they may start shooting. And I'm like, fair enough. Appreciate the knowledge. You just created value for me to stay alive in your neighborhood. Thank you.
Right.
Um, this kid taught me so much, so much. The strength in this kid. Lost his mom at an early age. Him and his sister slept on the floor so the other kids could have a bed. Um, this kid he taught me about how he was Samoan. He taught me about how they viewed their women.
Mm. I know. I remember you telling me. I'm like, I love it.
Yeah. How they cherish them and honor them, protect them with their lives. And, his mom passed with a medical issue. God bless him. But this kid, just our little conversations going to and from um, school were amazing. And I learned one thing not to do is to take him and offer him to buy him some McDonald's, because the dollar menu turns into a $40 menu. That means my boy could eat, man. I'm telling you. Great dude. But see, that's just one of the many stories about those different cultures you can learn, and different parts of the country. You
You
know,
asked you asked a question earlier about, and I know you know the answer, but I just want to bring this up. Um, You asked a question, why would somebody not want to learn about someone else's culture? Why would somebody not want to go to this other part of the country or another country?
They're afraid.
Fear. They're
Yeah,
afraid.
they're
And
afraid.
the fear, especially, and I've told so many people, make sure you travel around the country at minimum. At least leave your town, at least leave your state. You have to learn about different types of people, because people across this country are very different from end to end, north to south, east to west. And it's beautiful, the cultures that are here, and we should embrace it and not fight it and not be afraid of it. Every human wants, every normal human wants to have love, wants their family to be loved, wants their family to be fed and housed and clothed and safe. Everybody wants that. And so we have these little pockets of people who don't travel very far from their little areas that they grow up in. And so everybody out there is so scary. But in reality, if you just bring everybody together and meet each other and talk to each other, we could change the world. But people are just gripped in fear.
Well, and
And
that's part of the teaching. That's part of societal where it fails the most. Now, we all know there's good and bad everywhere in everything, and we have to navigate through that. Don't be afraid, brothers and sisters.
right.
It is they it, they will welcome you. They love it and enjoy it and have fun with it. Because don't forget, you have something to share with them too.
Mhm.
You have your culture to share. I'm from Eastern Kentucky in the coal mines in the Hatfield McCoy areas. And I remember seeing um, when the coal miners would go on strike as a kid and we would drive by an entrance exit to a coal mine, you'd see old guys out there with shotguns and
Mhm.
people got killed. And you're like, now as a kid, you're like, huh, that's weird. I guess, but that's where I'm from. That's things you see and see these guys are protecting their life. I mean, there's a whole big thing about it. That's part of my culture. Part of my culture is that working hard and keeping to yourself, and you don't bother someone unless you're going to help them. Other than
Mhm.
that, don't mess with someone else in a negative light. And make my dad taught me that very, very well. Don't ever back anyone into a corner unless you're trying to help them. So
Mhm.
help yourself. Like I said last time, don't if you can't pat yourself on the back, it doesn't matter if anybody else does, because you need to know that you did a good job because you know what you're capable of, which is involved in ego and what your expectations are for yourself. And you should set high expectations because they're very attainable. And that's a standard you need to set for yourself. No one else is going to set it except maybe that guy who will hold you accountable, trying to help you see that you can set those standards for yourself. You can seize that moment, create an enormous amount of value for yourself, which in turn you can spread out into the world yourself and showing other people how to create value for themselves. It's just a wonderful thing. It's just we get caught up in all these little tiny small details and these little, and don't get me wrong, details are important. Um, you know, little things make big things happen, of course. But don't get dwelling on them. Like, well, let's go into, perfection.
Mhm.
I don't know if I've said it on here or not, but I want to apologize from the world that perfection is a lie. Perfection does not exist. The dictionary is wrong. It needs to be defined what it is. And that means perfection is everything is riddled with failure. You're going to fail, but it's not failure in the sense that you think. These
Right.
things are opportunities for you to create value for yourself, to
Mhm.
improve yourself. So perfection is, they've lied to you. You're going to make mistakes. You should expect that. And you should welcome that. Like we say, no matter what happens, good.
Right.
Through an interception, good. Now you know what not to do.
Right.
There's something there that needs to be fixed. Let's dive into it and fix it. Oh, you spoke to little Johnny in the wrong way, or you got on him when you didn't need to. There was a mistake. It's actually somebody else. Whatever the mistake is.
Mhm.
Well, now you need, okay, well, what do I need to do? Well, I need to go to little Johnny and be like, hey, look, my guy messed up. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have gotten on you like that. I now know it was little Timmy. Timmy, you know, that's just, but that makes you better as a person. So one guy was talking about the mirror of accountability. Yes, look in that mirror. Now, let me warn you, when you do this, things will get real. When you look in the mirror, you have to be honest. You can't lie. You cannot lie. And I'm not saying anything. I mean, there's a lot of other people who say this stuff. I get it from them because it works. You look in there, you have to be honest. You know if you're lying or not. You're not getting away with anything.
Mhm.
So that accountability uh, can get you, and it's
Right.
okay. Be honest. You think that, well, I don't want to make that mistake. No, nobody wants to make mistakes. Why? Go make them. See, that's another problem. We're so afraid of making mistakes, we don't do anything.
Right.
Doing
I
nothing
have a great I have
creates
a
value for you. You have to do stuff. And when you make those opportunities that will make you even better,
mhm.
that's a good thing. That's how you improve. That's what you do to get better. In athletics, sports, do it every week. I've been a part. I was very lucky to be a part of a team that went undefeated, won a state championship. That was phenomenal. Were there things that we could correct? Oh boy, an enormous amount. There was no perfection there. Our record was 15-0, but there was no perfection there. We could have improved so many ways in so many areas. And to think we made every play perfect and we made every play right and we did all the right thing. No, we didn't. We didn't. But little things that make you better and create value is how did we respond to things? So when you make a mistake, you respond to it with good. What do I need to do better? Okay, boom. Let's do that. Let's work on that. And you know what? You're probably going to do it again. That's okay. Same thing in life. How many times you make the mistake, oh, I get this. And then you start, why do I keep doing that? Well, I don't know. But at some point, you're going to get to it where you don't do that anymore. You will. You just keep
Yeah. I
plugging
have
away.
a story. I have a story. I have a couple of things. One time years ago, you said to me, I was upset about something I kept making a mistake on, and you said to me, and I've repeated this dozens of times to other people. You said to me, when it hurts bad enough, you'll make the change. And
Mhm.
I have and I was like, damn, he's right. He's right.
I'm not
I,
right. I got it from somebody else. They're right. But
but you shared it with me and it
yeah,
shifted my perspective. It
yeah.
shifted my perspective. And
Mhm.
so I've always and I always credit you. I'm like, my husband told me 20 years ago, when it hurts bad enough, you'll make the change. So
Yeah.
whoever you got that from, you taught me and I've helped others with it. So that's great. I want to go to um, you were talking about somebody deciding to change their life a moment ago, and what should they do? Are they just going to still sit there 10 years later? And a few months ago, a loved one of ours called me up and was asking for advice and said, I'm having a crisis of consciousness. And I was like, okay, how can I help you? And they told me their story. They're like, I have this job. I don't really want to stay at this job. I feel like I'm wasting my life. What should I do? Should I do that? And I said, listen, there are no mistakes. If you quit this job that you're not happy in and go to this other job and say you don't like that after 2 months, you can always get another job. It's not a big deal. Or you quit this job and you go to this other job and it's the greatest thing you've ever done. I said there are no mistakes. You're in a place in your life that you have some choices where you can go from here to there. And this loved one of ours quit that job, went to the other job, and is the happiest we've seen this person, right? Like they're super happy about it and they made the right decision. So it's not always a matter of, now, depending on your economic circumstances, of course, some people can't take that risk, but always do something on the side. Always try something new. You're not always going to be able to quit your day job and become a basket weaver for fun, right? The economy's not always going to, your Etsy store isn't always going to take off right away. So always, start on the side, right? Start a little something on the side. And then you were talking about perfection, and how we look in the mirror and we have to be honest with ourselves. And what I think you mean is be honest with who we are, not criticize our face and maybe my eyebrow looks weird today or my nose looks big today or whatever it is, right? You mean take a self inventory, I think is what you're talking about, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I do that every day. I look back at the day and I look at, okay, did this, did okay, and blah, blah, blah. You go back over encounters with things and that, decisions you made, whatnot. And then okay, did I handle that right? No, I don't. I think I probably should have handled it this way. And then you got to address that. And then you
Yeah.
address that, and then you go back. You might need to go back and right a wrong, or repair a relationship a little bit, or be more, clarify something
Mm-hmm.
that was said, or something of that regard. But yeah, it's a daily thing, and it helps you stay in touch, and it's a daily way of improving yourself, for sure.
Yeah, and so now I try to do that during the day while I'm going through my day, because I'm getting to the point where I might forget by bedtime because I'm a little older and I have a lot of stuff going on during the day. So if I screw up, I try to if I realize it in the moment, I try to address it in the moment as much as possible, so I don't have to. And it's easier because you don't have to carry it through you throughout the day. But
Right.
everybody, as long as people are making that list, that mental list, or journal it, whatever floats your boat, as they say. As long as you're taking accountability for your actions and you're realizing that, oh, I made a mistake, and you make apologize and take action. That's what's important. Now, if
Yeah.
you are a person listening to this recording, um, and you're like, well, I don't ever make anybody mad or make any mistakes, so I'm good on that. Check, check.
Wrong.
But there are so many people who think,
You're wrong.
yeah, it wasn't
Sorry.
me. It wasn't me. I didn't,
Right.
I'm fine. I got a clear conscience. I didn't make any mistakes.
So I learned this from one great guy a long time ago. He said, in any relationship, friends, whatever, if there's a problem, 100% you had something to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
Something, to
Yep.
some degree, there was something to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I had, and that, as a coach, it's really fast paced, and sometimes you can catch it instantly, and sometimes it doesn't surface till later.
Right.
One of the recent ones, I know, back during the football season, I yelled across the field to put, hey, so and so, after this play, get this other kid, and and then you have to check the check. So he didn't run on the field, and I was beside myself. I'm like, oh, do you not want to play? I'm trying to put you on the field. Everybody wants to complain about playing time. I try to put you on the field. You don't go. And I'm yelling across the field. I'm just yelling across the field at this guy. And then another player came over to me, and this kid had been out. He'd been injured. Another kid came over to me. He said, hey, coach, he's not cleared yet. And I'm like, well, why does he have a helmet and shoulder pads on? And if he's not cleared, what are we doing? And he's like, I don't know, but he's not cleared. So I'm like, oh, so now look at this. This kid came to help me. I'm trying to help that kid. Like, I'm begging you to play football like you chose to do. And you're not, I said go in, and you're just standing over there, whatever. And so now this kid, he's like, hey, he's not. So he's helping me. I accept that. Okay. So I immediately go over across the field, trot over there. Hey, what gives? What up? And he's like, oh, I'm not cleared yet. I'm like, why do you have a helmet and shoulder pads on? He goes, well, they wanted me to get used to blah, blah, blah. He explained everything. I'm like, oh, hey, man. Hey, listen, I apologize for what I said then because nobody told me. I did not know. So we good? Boom, we dapped up, we're good. And so there is a situation where if that kid doesn't come to me, I don't know. Maybe I get even angrier with him later. Like, do you not want to play? Maybe you should not play then if you don't, because we're trying to get you to. You chose to come out here, all these things.
Right.
And so then nothing gets fixed. But because we're working as a family, a player walked up to a coach and said, hey, here's why. Oh, I'll accept that. Oh, I didn't know that. I need to go address this kid immediately. Boom. And I've seen other coaches that are way better than me just totally lose their minds on really good kids, good players, whatnot. And then they're watching film and it's like, uh-oh, I made a mistake. It wasn't him. And they'll tell, like the one guy, he turned to me and he said, I've got to go apologize to this kid because he didn't do what they said he did. And then he went and apologized to this kid. And those are just, we say that's a failure and mistake. No, that's opportunity for the coach to get better.
And you know what strikes me about that story? That kid walked up to you as a coach and told you because you built trust with your players. Mm-hmm. And that is, again, for anybody watching this part of the video that missed the earlier part, we're talking about sports as a metaphor for life and learning lessons in life. And if you're not into sports, it doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. You can still learn from these metaphors. Build trust with the people you love. Let them, but the caveat to that is you have to be trustworthy. Don't be a snake. If you're a lying, sneaky, underhanded person, this isn't going to work for you in this moment. But you can learn starting now, because now you can know better and do better going forward, right? Everybody deserves to learn and change and grow.
Well, let me piggyback on that for a second, because you take sports into life. You got a sports, a team. It's a group of people with a common goal of success. Okay. Mm-hmm. Take a company. It's a group of people with a common goal for success. Right. Take a neighborhood. It's a group of people with a common goal for success. Blow it up. Let's take the planet. It's a group of people with a common goal for success. I mean, let's help each other.
Yes, that's it.
Why would we not? But see, that's where the ego comes in. Well, if I get mine first, then I'll help you.
Yes.
It doesn't work that way.
Right.
It's not how it goes. I can't be the coach and be like, all right, I need to be successful before you got. Well, that's not possible.
That is not going to work.
How am I going to do that? And then a kid, he wants to be successful before everybody else. And I can tell you right now, on my team, you won't be on that team. You will sit over there at the end of the bench. You're not going to be, you can't be here to bring everyone else down and hurt people. You need to make yourself better. Steph Curry makes everyone around him better. Michael Jordan made everyone around him better. Kobe Bryant made everyone around him better. Guys in the NFL make everyone, you play for the people. So if you're going to play for the people around, why wouldn't we live for the people around us? Live for each other and just be nice. Be a good person. Be nice.
Right. What's the problem? Right. Yeah. And you said, blow that up in our society. Why is it so hard for people to just love each other and care for each other? Right. Like, what is the problem? What is going on out there? Like, we can't just be nice.
Yeah. So a good example, and I just remember this. I was in line at Starbucks this morning trying to get my stars, and there's people in front of me.
Got to get those stars at Starbucks.
Oh yeah, there's this guy. He's got this hat on with goofy ears from Disney World, and then he's got a soccer shirt on. I mean, he just looks kind of goofy. Much love. I love it. It's who he is. Don't know the guy. And there's a husband and wife and a little baby, little young man behind them. And I guess the little boy was having a kind of a tough morning, and as we all do. And mom was holding him, dad was holding him. And as the line's moving up, I guess the mom wasn't looking, and she just, with the stroller, she just drilled this guy with the
Oh,
goofy ears, hit him right in the ankle.
oh,
you know, you know, and she was like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." And he said, "Don't worry about it. It's fine. It's
mhm.
okay." And it's like, that's a simple thing, but let's really think about that. That guy's in a good place. Great.
Yes.
But think, mom and dad may not have gotten much sleep.
Yeah,
They're
probably
at
not.
and in a very crowded area, and it's, their child's having a tough moment, and they're trying to help that child. And so we made uh, an imperfect decision. Oh,
Right.
okay. It's okay. It's all right. Enjoy your day. Move along. It's fine. I'll survive. I'll
Right.
be okay.
And you know what's interesting about that? That mom who ran into the goofy ear guy, she could either forgive herself in that moment or
Mhm.
she could ruminate on that the rest of the day. Now,
Mhm.
this is where part of our self inventory comes in as well,
Mhm.
right? We have to think, yeah, I made that mistake. It was, and this is a small example, right? This isn't a big, giant, horrible example. This is just a small, easy example. Um, that little moment could ruin her day, but it
Yeah.
shouldn't ruin her day
No, it shouldn't.
because she wasn't being malicious. It was,
Right.
she was trying to take care of her child and make her child happy. And the gentleman she hit in the ankle already forgave her instantly. Like
Yeah.
he knew she wasn't being
Yeah.
malicious, but humans are like you talked about last week. You are so hard on yourself, right?
Yeah.
And not
Oh,
just
yeah.
you, but people are. People are
Yeah.
so hard on themselves. And I honestly thought I wasn't that hard on myself till you started mentioning how hard you are on yourself. And I'm like, I don't say that kind of stuff to myself. And then I caught myself saying negative things to myself, like, oh God, I guess I am. I never realized it.
Right.
And so we not only should be kind to others, but it starts with us. We have to, humans have to work on themselves before it can spread out to everybody else. We have a lot of work to do as homo sapiens, right? We've got some emotional stuff going on and it can get better, but we have to start with loving ourselves first, forgiving ourselves for the mistakes we made and trying to do better. And self-care is really important. You know, something I applaud you for is every day you take care of your body as to the best of your ability. You, for your age, for past injuries you may have had, you're doing the best to stay healthy and in shape because you want to live a long time. And that, to me, now not everybody can lift weights like you do, obviously. Not everybody has that capacity. um, but it starts with self. You take the time, and you've done this for every 6 days a week for 27 years, approximately, since Isaiah was a baby. And you take really good care of, and you're dedicated to it. You're dedicated. You do not, if we have to go travel somewhere, you get up extra early and you go get your workout in, and nothing's going to stop you from doing that. As irritating as it might be, because I want to get on the road early, you make sure to take your time to take care of yourself. And that spreads throughout the rest of your life. Self-care for Doug
Mhm.
cares for himself. And everyone should be taking care of themselves to the best of their ability, physically and mentally. And that's it. And if you're taking care of yourself physically, you're going to feel better mentally.
Mhm.
And then you can care for others. And then you can teach others and care for them and show them love and kindness. It's like we have to start here for it to spread out.
Mhm.
Does that Or does that make sense?
Oh yeah. Well, it's discipline, and it's
Oh,
um,
yeah.
you care about yourself. Create that value. I mean,
I
and what
say this before you continue. This is a quote I always say: you do not have to be chosen to be worthy. And what I mean by that is a lot of women, especially, and I guess men too, but I'm not a man, so I don't know. A lot of women think they have to be chosen by a partner to be worthy of love. And that comes from their family of origin. And a lot of us were not chosen as the favorite in our family of origin. So we are always seeking to be chosen by someone else. And I say, choose yourself. Choose yourself. Love yourself and choose yourself to the best of your ability, because you're the only one that's going to be there with you for the rest of your life. Every
Mhm.
day, you're with you. No matter what is happening in the world, you're with you. Choose you first, then add the layers.
You're enough.
Yes,
You're enough. If somebody doesn't choose you, good. They're not.
right.
They're not seeing that from a good leadership standpoint. One thing a great leader needs to be able to do is to recognize talent and put it in the right place for it to flourish.
Right.
It's kind of what education is. Education literally means to expand upon, not, hey, come here, pay me, and I'm going to make you learn stuff you're not going to need. What kind of sense does that make?
I'm sorry.
Not pointing any
You
fingers,
almost made me
but
spit my
maybe
coffee.
I am. There's schools aren't getting it as much as they
Right.
should. We want to improve our kids, not put you in a like make you this and that and things like, is this really going to help you? I mean, let's look at our times and how we've evolved as a society and our technology, and we literally don't utilize it properly. Some places are starting to do it though, and it's going to change a lot of stuff. And if
You
you're
and I
not
have both been saying,
on board, then you're
yeah,
just going to fall away. You need to evolve and improve. And what is that? Creating value for yourself. And those things are very, very important. So yeah, if it's like me as a basketball coach and I've got a guy that's 5'2" and I'm looking at him going, I think he could be my center. We'll put him in the middle. Yeah, that's not good. That's not a good decision to make. The guy's too small. How can he flourish there? He can't. He cannot. And any good coach will tell you, and this, so I get this from all the great coaches. One of the biggest thing a coach needs to do is to put players in a position to succeed. Now, the life side, we need to be put in a place to succeed. You need
right.
to go and be with a company of people, of friends and stuff where you can succeed. If I'm going and hanging out with people selling drugs and all that stuff, is that putting me in a situation where I can succeed? We'd have to
Maybe as a
reevaluate
drug
your goals,
dealer.
because it sounds like your goal is to go to prison. And if that's your goal, then you're in the right place.
Right.
I would honestly hope that's not your goal, but you need to, a guy said a long time ago, show me who your friends are. I'll show you where you're going.
Yeah.
Because that's what they're doing. These people are, whatever it is, that group, we attract each other and we try to move forward in that creating the value for ourselves to be successful. That's a huge thing. It's the same in life. I don't hang out in bars. I don't hang out with people doing drugs. I don't hang out with people that are, just making bad decision after bad decision. I don't do that. If you're making a couple bad decisions for then you're telling me I don't need to be around you,
Yeah.
and I will listen loud and clear. I'll hear it. So yeah, I mean, that's very, very important. And the sports there's so many life lessons that come from sports. It's all the same. It's not different. Like, oh, in the sports world. So it's another thing I see in schools, the fight between academics and sports. Why?
Oh,
It's ridiculous. There's no point in it. Why not come together and and be successful together? You're not separate. We just all want to separate, and there's no point in that.
Right.
Um, it's all the same. It's you learn and can improve yourself through life with sport. And why wouldn't you want to improve yourself no matter what the means are? So it's sports, great. So it's something else, great. Music, great. It's all, remember, whatever happens, good.
Right.
Utilize that and utilize that to your advantage. Right? Don't fight a fight you're going to lose. Sun
Well,
Tzu. I
the
mean,
it,
geez.
in the problem in one of the many problems in society, it is and has been for a long time, is they don't realize we're all connected anyway. We're all connected. We're
Mhm.
all connected. We all share the same DNA. The difference in DNA between all humans is like a drop, like not even that much. Like it's so minuscule. We're all interconnected. Every organism on this planet, for those of you who don't know, I'm a scientist and a medium. Every organism on this planet affects the other one. You know, the chaos theory says if a butterfly flapping its wings in Africa can cause a hurricane in the Midwest, right? Because one little flutter in the atmosphere can cause the atmosphere to do weird things, and over the whole planet we could have, you know, a hurricane, a tornado, whatever I said, I don't remember. But the point is, one decision by one person can affect millions of people. And I'm not talking
Yeah, your emotions will remember your emotions will affect everything around you. And I'm just
right.
not talking about living things. Remember the guy in the documentary, they hooked him
I
up
am.
with yogurt and the
Mhm.
machine, and he was told to think of something that made him very angry, and he did.
His
And
lawyer.
yeah, it had an effect on the yogurt because it
Right.
was hooked up to him as well. So
Right.
his anger had an effect and gave off energy to the yogurt,
Yes.
which had an effect on the yogurt.
But they weren't connected physically.
No, not
So
physically. No.
so let me explain to everybody. So there's a documentary by Tom Shadyac, who directed a bunch of famous movies with a bunch of
Master.
famous actors.
Yeah.
And he had a brain injury. He had post concussion syndrome, and he was very sick, and made this documentary called I Am. And it's a wonderful documentary, it has all the spiritual teachers and leaders and thinkers, and it's beautiful. And in one of the parts of the documentary, he is doing an experiment, I think at the Heart Math Institute, if I remember correctly. And there's a petri dish with yogurt and has a sensor in it. And then he's got a sensor on his head or his hand or something, but they're not connected to each other. And they start talking to Tom Shadyac about his lawyer, and the sensor goes off the charts. And he's like, how does that work? Because we all put off energy, we're all connected. It's like a mother who hasn't slept in a week and her newborn baby is just crying and crying, but grandma comes over, picks the baby up, and the baby's quiet immediately. Why? Because mom is so fried and so stressed out, and she wants the baby to be happy, but she hasn't slept, and she probably hasn't had a shower, and she's just losing her mind. Grandma had a good night's sleep. Grandma had a manicure. Grandma has a cup of coffee. She comes over. She's happy to see the baby. Grandma's energy is really calm. So she picks that baby up, and that baby gets quiet immediately. And mom is frazzled. So we affect each other all the time. You and I, we've been married almost 30 years. And we've had some, yeah, yay. We've had a plethora of different experiences in our marriage, good and bad and everything in between. And if I'm in a mood, you feel it, right? I don't even have to say anything. You can
Yeah.
feel it probably before you walk in the door from work, right? Same for you. If you're in a mood, your head doesn't even have to come off that pillow, and I know what's happening because we're so connected. We feel
Mhm.
each other's energy and we feed off each other's energy. And if we could all just take some deep breaths in a moment where we're feeling out of control, if we can, not every situation is the same, right? Like in a normal everyday situation, Take 3 deep breaths. Just take 3 deep breaths. This is the best meditation you'll do. Take 3 deep breaths. It resets your nervous system. Take a moment to pause, and then hopefully your day will get better after that.
Absolutely. You got to slow down, slow it
Mm.
down.
So you started, speaking of meditation, while we're wrapping up the last few minutes here, we talked about tough love and perfectionism today. And I can't wait to see what we're going to talk about next week. It's going to be a good one, everybody. Stand by for that. You started meditating probably 9 years ago. And at one point, and I'm like, this is so not Doug. Like, Doug's not a meditator. What is he doing? Like, I wasn't against it, but I was so like shocked that you just started meditating on this app. And I'm like, what is going on? So that's neither here nor there. About a year and a half later, you said to me, that meditation saved my life.
Yes.
And I thought, wow. I'm like, I don't think I was locked into what was going on with you in that time period.
Yeah.
So for everybody watching, why did you start meditating? Whatever you are comfortable sharing, and how did it help? And you still do it every day.
Yeah. Actually, I started meditating 19 years ago, but I didn't get it until about 9 years ago.
Oh, okay.
That's if it takes
We're
time.
slow learners. We're slow learners. It takes time. It's okay.
Uh, you start to it. Well, one, it taught me you're going to make mistakes. You're going to drift off. You're going to, not be real focused. Just pull yourself back in. It's okay.
Mm.
Remember the mistakes we make. Like, oh, you son of a, how could you do? No, it's okay. It's normal. Accept it. Expect it. It's going to happen. And like, remember, I think I talked about when my study habits were so bad, and I would be trying to study, and then I'm staring at the wall, slobbering on myself, and then I'm like, what happened? Why am I doing this? Why I should be studying? What? And I'm just start one little thing, and I start thinking about all these other things, and I forget I lose focus, and I'm not dialed in and all that. Meditation taught me, yeah, that's normal. That's normal. You're going to do
Right.
that. What we're going to teach you is how to recognize it and just
Mm.
pull yourself back and get yourself back on track. We're all like this. You hear so many people and coaches say, he doesn't listen. He doesn't listen. I'm like, oh, see, high school kid, they don't listen at all. And then I heard an NFL coach say one day, his players don't listen. And I'm like, what? They don't listen? I thought they would listen. They're pros, right? No, evidently they don't. so it's not just a kid thing.
It's a human thing.
It's a human thing. We don't always listen, and that's okay. Just recognize it. And so meditation taught me how to recognize it and then pull myself back in and get back on track. And it just made all the difference in the world. And it helps you not be so hard on yourself. It helps you stay a little more focused, even though you kind of drifted off, and also that it's okay if you aren't perfect, because you're not.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the other thing about perfection. Everybody says perfection's got to be, but then we turn around and say, but it's okay if you're not perfect. But if you make a mistake, I'm going to rip your ass for it. Wait a minute. But I'm supposed to be perfect. But you said nobody's perfect. But then when I'm not perfect, you get angry.
Right.
So what are we teaching then?
All kinds of confusing messages. That's the problem.
So that's another thing about explaining things properly. So like I talked about, find out who your boss is, find out what they want, and give it to them. Number 2, find out what they want. If they don't tell you clearly, you need to ask them. Hey, I don't understand this, blah, blah, blah. Can you explain it more? Now, on the other side of that coin, as a boss or as a leader in said moment, said day, said month, year, whatever, you need to make sure you are clear about what you want, what your commands or whatever orders you're giving or whatever you're telling someone to help them.
That may
You're
be
not
a great,
clear, you can't hold them accountable for
yeah,
not doing what you wanted. So it has to be clear. So again, there's two people here. Remember the player coming up. I'm gruffing, and this guy's like, "Hey, coach, he's not clear." Oh, okay. So thank you. And you know what? In that moment, that kid was the boss. He assumed the role of a boss.
a
I'm
leader.
the coach, he's the player, but he assumed the role of the leadership role. And I allowed that by not saying, shut up, you're not the coach, blah, blah, all that BS you hear. I said, oh, really? Oh, cool. All right, thank you. And then I had to take that and become a leader again myself. So you
Right.
can go from boss to boss to leader back to follower and all this. It's so important what meditation has taught me, because there's times for me that, like, I mean, we all struggle with things. Some little things will just can be very difficult. And I mentioned this before too. It might be one day at a time. It might be, you know what, I need a minute. I
Yeah.
need 2 seconds here. I
Yeah.
need 5 seconds. And
Yeah.
I'm not sure what to do here. And I'm raging inside because I don't know what to do. And I need to figure it out. We all go through this. I don't care who you are. I don't care how much success you have or how many years you've been in prison. It doesn't matter. We all go through this, and accept that, and then start looking for ways to better yourself. One of my ways was meditation and prayer. And that's the way I start my day, and it's the way I end my day. And I do that every day. So if you're looking for something to put meditation very simple, and this is one, this is actually funny. This is one of the reasons I started doing it, because when I originally saw it, I was reading a book by a coach, and he said, "Yeah, you should meditate." Basically, it's like, I wonder what that is. So I found a meditation book. He's like, "Oh, you just breathe, and count the breaths." I'm like, well, that's easy. I think I can pull that off. And then you find out it's not that easy. You may
Right.
mess that up. And I
Right.
promise you will, because I don't know how many times I'm counting breaths and I forget. I forget that I'm breathing and I'm thinking about something else. And
Mhm.
you're like, oh, wait a minute.
Oh,
What
yeah.
what number was I on?
Right.
Well, how do I what was the last number I was on? Okay, 5. Well, should I where do I start? Okay.
And then the train goes back. You start the
Well,
train again.
meditation tells you start where you left off. Pull yourself in. Where were you? You were on 5. Now you're doing 6. Even though you had 27 breaths in between, that's fine. Now you're on 6. And then you go from there. And so you catch yourself. Well, what are you doing? Hey, come back
Right.
here. Come back
Observe.
here. Let's finish this. And that all that stuff helps in that center. When the kid comes to me and he's
Yeah.
saying that, I'm able to accept it because what's up? Okay. Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. Oh, wow. Hey, and then knowing I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect. Neither's that kid. Neither's this kid. Neither's that guy. We're not perfect. So now how do we make each other better here? How do we raise our value here? Go talk to that kid. And you know what? Since we had he's a little closer. We're a little closer.
Mhm.
We had a little spat, and that's not why we're closer. We're closer because we repaired it. We're
Right.
closer because we understand each other a little more. He understands I'm not trying to be a jackass to him, and I understand he wasn't trying to just sit out and not play. Oh, wow. How hard was that?
Mhm.
It can be. It really can. If we don't accept the fact that, you know what, I'm going to allow this 17-year-old boy to be a leader right here. I found out who my boss was, found out what he wanted, and I gave it to him. And in
Mhm.
turn, with the other kid as well, I, I gave it to him. And everybody wins.
Right.
Nobody loses. We
Because
all,
you put your ego aside.
and so did they. Everybody does. It's
Yeah.
like
Right.
we're not
Exactly.
like titles. My dad taught me so long ago. It's not about titles. When you're in a position, you might have a title just so they know what you do there, but you work with everyone together. Not you're not. It's not about. And sometimes you drive the bus and you're in charge. Our relationship. Sometimes you're the boss, and I have to recognize that, and I have to say, you know what? She's right.
This is on video
Yeah. And it's
forever.
like, okay, great. Sometimes I'm the boss, but
Yeah.
sometimes we're both the boss. And sometimes
Yeah.
neither one of us is. I mean, that's just like I love new couples. They're having kids. Our oldest is experiencing this now. Everybody says, yeah, I'm speaking to parents, people thinking about having children. If you're thinking I'm going to wait until I'm ready
You
or
never.
our my husband, wife are ready, don't, because you're never ready.
Right.
Things are going to happen you couldn't possibly imagine. It's
Yeah.
not in a book. You're going to have to experience it. And that's where you need to be ready. You need to be ready to experience something you're not ready to experience. I heard
Right.
a legend in a field that I'm so fascinated by speak one time. And he talked about how he really loved being caught off guard because it showed him who he was.
Yeah, that's good.
Oh, I just scared the shit out of a lot of people.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean, I don't know if I, but being caught off guard means you're going to be uncomfortable. And that is terrifying to people. It's
It does show
so
you who you are.
terrifying. I want to be able to script things and know what I'm doing.
Mhm.
Boom,
Yeah.
boom, boom. So like in sports, in practice, when I was a head coach, we'd script it out. Other coaches says that we script everything out. There's a whistle, there's a horn, boom, we're going to the next drill and we do this and we're focused on this point of emphasis, the process of us going through this whole thing. All of it culminates day by day into winning on a Friday night. Okay. Now, as an adult, I lost my train of thought there. I get fired up on the what are we
You
talking
were,
about? I totally got lost.
you told me I was right.
Make sure to
And
clip this. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. So in that process, wait, I told you were right on everything?
yeah, it's on video.
We need to edit that. No, I'm kidding. So you're not gonna be I've gone blank.
I don't know. Well, that's because we're wrapping up at the end.
Okay.
We're wrapping up.
What
Everything was scripted. You were talking about being scripted. Nothing's perfect. And
so what happens? Yeah, thank you. That's my point. Just like this. This just happened. What happens when things don't go right? What happens when they don't go as scripted? Mike Tyson always said, everybody's got a plan to get punched in the face. And it's like, now what? And that's always a huge thing in sports. See, don't forget, we have an offense and we're going to do this on offense. So we go out there and all of a sudden we can't do it. Uh-oh. Do we leave? Do we stop the game? All right, fellas, sorry. We had a plan and it's not working, so we're leaving. We're getting on the bus. We can't.
I know it's the Super Bowl, but we're
sorry.
Our plan
No,
didn't work.
that is, we call this read and reaction. So we got to read a situation quickly and react to it. And what's the best way to do that? Through experience. So you catch me off guard. In sports, Steph Curry said, I watched an interview with him and it was a jovial, funny, kind of comedic interview. And he was asked a question about being uncomfortable and his whole demeanor changed. It went from comedic to very serious. He was like, I have to be uncomfortable every day. And the guy was like, what do you mean? He goes, that's how you improve the most. You have to don't be afraid of being in uncomfortable situations. Go experience something new. If you're presented something, the kid on the field, don't be afraid to run up to your coach and say, Coach, blah, blah, blah. He's not clear. He wasn't afraid. He was uncomfortable. And then he put me in an uncomfortable situation. I'm like, who? Because honestly, my first thought is, who is this kid thinking he's going to tell me what I'm, and then I have to pull myself back in, level off. Hey, no. I hear you. I accept that. Okay. And then I operate from that. So uncomfortable, how do you react? Now you have to react. So you're basically, meditation has taught me how to learn how to react to things in uncomfortable situations,
I
which
can
has
attest to that.
totally changed my life.
I can
Totally.
attest to that, and that's a beautiful point to end on, because I was going to say, as you were going through this and we both forgot what we were talking about,
That was awesome. That's uncomfortable.
gonna say I was gonna say I noticed so clearly over the past few years that you've been meditating, your reactions to things that may normally have set you off, something silly that you just, stub your toe and cuss words, blah blah blah. You have regulated your emotions in such a different degree that it's so beautiful to see you grow into that part of you, because a big part of the problems in our society is people can't regulate their emotions. And I say, I learned this from Aunt Jen. If every child learned to meditate, we'd change the world in a generation or two. And that may be a quote from somebody else too, but she's the one who taught it to me. So, Coach Willett, my husband, I love you so much. Thank you for being here again. We'll be back next week with another wonderful episode, more life learning, coaching awesomeness with Peaceful Nick and Coach Willett. And we'll see you all next week. Thank you, Coach.
Peace.
Bye. Bye, everybody.